Well, Darren, it's that time of year again. We got to talk about taxes, which I hate talking about.
Yes.
And one of the ways that farmers have to not avoid taxes, but to basically defer taxes is by prepaying certain farm expenses.
Well, taxes are no surprise. Yeah, I mean, you know they're coming, just like weeds. You know we're going to have weeds in the field next year.
And you know you're not going to like them.
And it's going to cost you money. So you just got to plan for it in advance. And you know, when you know that taxes are coming, this is good. They're coming every year. You know what's going to happen. And you can change what you're doing with your system to try and maximize your dollar. And so when you look at farming, we're very fortunate to have a cash accounting system where if we prepay expenses, whenever we write that check, that's when the expense happened. So if that's December of 2012, great. If you want that in January of 2013, hey, that's fine too. Well, maybe you had a good income year in 2012 and you need some more expense. You can do it now.
Okay,
or you can kind of income average.
All right, but everybody knows all that stuff. Let's just talk about dollars and cents here real quick, and then I want to get into the risks a little bit. So if you look at this thing and just say, all right, let's just take, for example, we're going to prepay $100,000 every year for the next 10 years. And let's say you're in the 25% tax bracket, but don't forget you got to pay self-employment tax too as a farmer. So now you're up to about 40% tax. So if it's $100,000 and instead of prepaying it and lowering your tax bill this year, you're going to pay tax. Okay, so that'd be $40,000 that you're going to pay. All right, so then you have to figure what's your opportunity cost for money. If it's 10%, that's $4,000. So if you do that every year for the next 10 years, boy, that kind of adds up, doesn't it? $4,000 per year for 10 years, that's $40,000. So by prepaying $100,000 each year for the next 10 years, in effect, if I can get 10%, basically opportunity cost for my money, I can do that over the next 10 years. I've got $40,000 extra dollars at the end of 10 years. So why would you not do that?
Well, there is one risk by prepaying.
Well, there's more than one.
Well, certainly there is. But one big one that a lot of farmers will say is, hey, if I get into this prepaying, I've got to do it every year now because
well, you do,
I'm used to...
Let's just take this year, for example. Okay, it's a drought year, and a lot of guys say, oh man, this is really going to hurt me this year. You know, if you had all that built up, well, now this year you could actually show some income. So you want to keep prepaying so you're ahead on this thing. So if you do have a bad year, then you don't have to prepay that one year, and then you can kind of catch back up.
All right, well, there's more than just that. What about collateral? If I'm prepaying, I'm giving somebody else money, I don't have any collateral.
Yep, that's exactly right. You're not going to have any collateral, so that's why you absolutely have to know who you're prepaying with, and you've really got to trust that person. The other thing you can always do too is say, look, I don't want to just prepay. I want to take the product home with me. Just make sure you let your supplier know in advance, because at this time of the year, it's going to be a little cold outside, and there are a lot of these things you might prepay for that could freeze. So you got to be careful with some of those risks too.
Well, the other thing is, what if I need to switch products? Maybe I decide, you know what, I thought I was going to do a bunch of corn, but then by springtime you say, no, I'm going to do more beans.
Okay, well, with the switching thing, make sure you talk to your retailer first, because if you prepay with them and it's just no questions asked, you just give them a check, whatever, have you talked through that? So what does happen if you need to switch? That's something you've got to work out with your retailer. Most of them are real good, but every once in a while you run into somebody who says, nope, you have to take this product. That's it, tough luck.
Well, there's certainly other benefits of prepaying. When you look at the discounts that you can get, many times there are better discounts that happen, in October, November, and December than what you can get in January.
Yeah, but it's not just about the discounts. And yeah, those are pretty good. They're going to pay a good APR. It's also the fact of supply. And in years like this, when we have good crop prices and we're tight on seed supply, we're tight on many of the ag chemical supply products, you want to make sure you've got your product locked up, because the last thing you want is for it to get to be spring and you don't have choice number 1, you're down to choice number 8, and all of a sudden your yield is not there, your weed control is not there. You just can't have that.
So really, to wrap things up, Brian, you're saying know who your dealer is, know that you can trust them, and know what all the policies are, because it's a long time before spring and a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, but we do encourage you to take a hard look at prepaying, because it can save you on taxes over the long run, it can save you in terms of discounts, and also it will help secure your supply.
Well, will it help you kill our Weed of the Week though, Brian? That's the real question. Our Weed of the Week is coming up next.